Hey y'all, it's Jacqueline at Pixie Dust PhD. I am filming this on August 16th, 2025. This is the month 66 creator update. There has been a decent amount of theme park news in the past month, but we're really going to hone in and pretty much just focus on one thing. To be very honest, we are still dialing in dosage for a newish medication I've been taking, so side effects are still kind of kicking my butt. I'm pretty low energy, and yeah, there's just been some stuff going on in my personal life where I haven't been as involved in the fandom as usual. But we'll definitely touch on that big story as well as a couple of smaller things, and we'll definitely do stats, analytics, and revenue for this past month as well as lifetime of the channel. All right, starting with that news, Disney has released just so many foodie guides in the past month. So we have, this is the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival foodie guide. We've got Halloween at Disney World. We've got Mickey's Not So Scary at Disney World. We've got Plaza de la Familia at Disneyland. We've got Halloween at Disneyland, and then the 70th at Disneyland. So I will leave these linked below, and or you can always make your way to the Disney Parks blog on your own and just, search for the topic or scroll until you find it. A lot of fun themed food coming, so if you are headed to Disney World or Disneyland in the near future, check these out. It may be worth planning some of your meals around. The other smaller news piece I wanted to highlight is we did get the full schedule for Destination D23. So proper D23 is like a big fan event. It happens every other year, usually out in California. I think it's always been in California so far. And then in the off years, so this year there's Destination D23, which is much smaller, and they hold it usually somewhere on the Walt Disney World Resort grounds. So in general, given that this is Destination D23 and not proper D23, I always go into these years with the mindset that we're not going to learn a ton per se as theme park fans, but there's usually some nuggets in general. I'm not going to read you the full schedule, but if you do a quick browse, you will see there is no dedicated theme park panel. I am guessing we will learn little nuggets, bits and pieces, again, kind of sprinkled throughout the programming rather than just having like one session for theme park panel. Of particular notice is this Disney Villains session, given that, we've got the Villain Land coming to Magic Kingdom. I think we might get something. It might be new concept art. It might just be a new description. Maybe they'll give us a little bit more. But in my opinion, the company's been fairly, upfront, maybe even transparent, at least, in the standards of giant company, about the changes that they're making to the theme parks through the Disney Parks blogs announcements. So, what more could they possibly have at Destination D23? Of course, they're working on projects. Of course, they could give us more details. Maybe that will happen. And like I just said, my biggest bet would be on we'll get to know a little bit more about the Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. In my wildest dream, I would love to hear about what is happening with Spaceship Earth. So you may recall years and years ago, I think pre-pandemic, they announced that Spaceship Earth was going to go down for refurbishment. They were going to redo it to an extent. That got paused and hasn't been brought back up, but I do think that attraction could use some, TLC, some maintenance. There's nowhere obvious in this lineup where I think they would say something like that, so I'm definitely not holding my breath. Let me know what you think is coming at Destination D23 or what in your wildest dreams you would like to hear about. And as a heads up, depending on how much news does or does not come out of this, I may not have a dedicated video on the channel. For example, if there's really only one or two gems of theme park news, then I'll probably just make a blog post over on my Ko-fi, so be sure to check that out and subscribe. You can subscribe to the Ko-fi without paying the monthly membership fee. If any of you are headed to Destination D23, I hope you have a fantastic time. And now the main news piece I wanted to talk about is this new area coming to Hollywood Studios. So we'll get to this picture in a little bit, but let's kind of go through this together. Once Upon a Studio is a super cute short. It's available on Disney Plus, but it's also available on YouTube. So if you haven't seen it or if it's been a while, I definitely suggest you go check it out. And in that, the Disney animated characters come to life, and that is the inspiration for this new reimagined area or land. I don't think it counts as a full land. And here you can see this poster for the magic of Disney animation. I love that they pulled in characters from a bunch of the different eras. It's not just like the new popular ones. You've got, Dumbo, you've got Peter Pan, Herc is back here. This is such a cute drawing and hopefully a really good representation of, the breadth of animation that we'll get to see. And so kind of back to this first picture, this is a reimagining of the Star Wars launch bay area, and you do see that they're bringing back the Sorcerer's Hat. So the Sorcerer's Hat used to be kind of at the entrance of the park, I believe. And it was very divisive. I think a lot of people hated how it messed with sightlines. And people who grew up going to Hollywood Studios before the Sorcerer's Hat got put in, I think maybe hated it more than others. My first experience of Hollywood Studios almost surely had the hat. So I think of it somewhat fondly, though I do totally understand that the sightlines is an issue. But I like the Sorcerer's Hat, so I'm glad to see it come back in some way. And this is taking direct inspiration from the actual animation building in Burbank, California. So again, the current home of Star Wars Launch Bay is going to be transformed, and it will be topped with the Sorcerer's Hat, just like the real building in California. So that's exciting. And we're not totally sure what this will be. It's saying portraits will come to life before your eyes. But I mean, is that just, moving pictures? Is there more to it? They're saying it's going to have playful and interactive moments. So maybe it's like a walkthrough type of attraction. Exactly what it's going to be, I don't know. But I think that there is a lot of potential there with the breadth of animated characters they have to work with. And then they say you'll have the opportunity to learn to draw your very own character sketch. So this sounds like Animation Academy. I think that's great. I would love to see that back in Hollywood Studios. I think it makes so much more sense there than out at Rafiki's Planet Watch in Animal Kingdom. To me, though, that does beg the question, like, what happens to the animation experience in Animal Kingdom? Are they just going to close it? Are they going to run two, like one in each park? I think that'd be a little weird. If they close that at Rafiki's Planet Watch, then what's left over there? I think pretty much just like the animals, the petting zoo kind of part. So is something going in to replace it? Like Rafiki's Planet Watch is already so underutilized, I think, because you have to get the train to get over there. It's kind of annoying, if we're being honest. It is a bit of a time suck. But if you or someone in your travel party really loves to draw, then like absolutely it's worth it. But if that goes away, then what? I haven't seen anything addressing the Animal Kingdom animation experience, but if you have, definitely let me know in the comments. There's also going to be this Drawn to Wonderland playground. Again, don't super know what that's going to be, but oversized flower garden, musical instruments, Mad Tea Party play set, and an exploration area. So play area for the kids. I always think those are good, and if it's well themed, then that's fantastic. And the magic of Disney animation is set to open next year. We don't know when, but we know sometime in 2026. And as this transformation is happening, the Little Mermaid show will remain accessible, and then they're doing a fresh Disney Junior show. So the existing Disney Junior dance and play, whatever, is going away, but they are maintaining a Disney Junior presence. We don't know more details than that. I'm wondering if this is where Bluey is going. We were told months ago that Bluey and Bingo were coming to the domestic parks and that they would share more in the coming months. Like sometime this year, they are supposed to appear. But even if they aren't sticking to the sometime this year timeline, like where is Bluey going? I think this general area of the theme park would make enough sense. Again, I would probably put those characters behind a paywall at a character dining location. Maybe Bluey and Bingo are special guests of Minnie's at Hollywood and Dine. I think that's the easiest way to control the crowds, but maybe they're trying to figure out a way that they aren't behind a huge paywall, which would be a massive victory for a lot of people. But that's totally all speculation. I'm just saying there will be a Disney Junior something, and they haven't told us what. My mind immediately went to like, you guys were supposed to be delivering on giving us Bluey. And specifically, Animation Courtyard and Disney Junior Play and Dance are closing beginning September 25th. So that tells me September 24th is your last day to enjoy that attraction. But again, Little Mermaid musical is up and running, and also the film presentation at Walt Disney Presents will be accessible. So that's for the official announcement. And then I think unofficially, if you've paid attention to some of the artwork, there is this like big arch right now that leads into this area. And it seems like that is going away. Again, I personally am fine with this because I think if the walk up is supposed to highlight the sorcerer's hat, then the arch would be obscuring that fully. But I know some people are very sentimental about that arch. I think that probably has been there since the park opened. So yeah, there's definitely some consternation among the fandom about that. But overall, I think that this is a huge improvement. Like Star Wars Launch Bay is a dust collector. I don't know why it's there. It's kind of asinine to me that it's there, honestly. And this seems like it'll be a huge improvement that'll be great for the whole family. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you've gotten any other news snippets related to this with little tidbits we should hear, definitely clue us in. With that, let's then go ahead and move on to stats and analytics. For month 66, I pulled these from July 11th through August 10th. It's a relatively heavy posting month for me. There were 6 reel videos as well as last month's monthly creator update. The videos I posted in the past month can be lumped into 2 categories. There was DVC availability videos and then videos that came out of my spring trip to the Disneyland Resort. Then for members only, we did continue just talking about some Disney World planning, DVC stuff. I can't really say too much more than that. But I do want to thank some of the members for leaving some very solid advice and suggestions. It's definitely given me a lot to think about, and I really appreciate everybody's input. Here is a look at the top content in this past monthly period by views. Once again, it's a Small World short. It's coming up on top. And then number 3 is also a super old short. I don't know what's happening in terms of why my shorts are getting picked up in the algorithm, but if you are part of that and you've been scrolling my shorts feed, thank you so much. And overall in the top 10, it's a pretty good mix of room tours, DVC, Disney World, and a little bit of Universal in there too. Disneyland Paris has dropped out this month, but that's fine with me. And half of these videos were posted in the last month, so it's always nice to see recent work picking up steam. The DVC availability videos are definitely still popular. Thank you so much for your support on those. I really hope that they're helpful for you. And I finally shook up the format. We didn't do literally every room in every resort. We broke it up. There's studios and there's 1 bedrooms, both only at Walt Disney World. Honestly, this was so much easier for me to film, edit, and post, so I really appreciate your flexibility with the format and your support of the change. This past month, the channel got about 7,800 views from about 4,600 unique viewers. Of those unique viewers, 796 of you were returning. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. I super appreciate it. All of those free interactions you do, so liking the video, subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell icon to receive notifications, commenting, sharing with friends, all of that is genuinely super duper helpful. An extra special thank yous to my monthly Ko-fi members. This month that was Coco, Tiffany, Amy, Judy, Jeff, Tara, James, and Michelle. This last month the channel got just over 450 watch hours, and we got almost 180,000 impressions, with 63.7% of those impressions coming from YouTube. And while these stats do capture quite a lot of months of the channel, it's not fully exhaustive, especially kind of from the early days. So I did go back to my full catalog of stats and double checked. And yes, 63.7% impressions from YouTube for 1 month is a new record. So that was super exciting. And all of these interactions led to 31 new subscribers to the channel. Definitely the past 3 months of subscribers to the channel is way better than about the 6 months before that. Again, I super appreciate everything you do to support the channel. Moving into lifetime stats then, we are now at 423,000 views. This has resulted in 27,200 watch hours, and we're now at 4.875 million impressions, with 41.9% of those impressions coming from YouTube. And overall, the channel is at 2,090 subscribers, so coming close to 2,100. Doing some reflections then, overall, a pretty good month. Views and watch hours were up, but not a huge amount, but impressions and impressions from YouTube exploded. And again, I don't really know what this is about. I guess I did post 2 of those DVC availability videos in this past month, and then again, the shorts feed is somehow getting picked up. I can't say I did anything intentional. Sometimes it does just feel like that's how the algorithm swings. But yeah, super, super excited about that. And 31 subscribers on the month lately for me is pretty dang good, so also very chuffed there. Lifetime, nothing like huge to report. I will say that lifetime 41.9% impressions from YouTube was 0.9% better than the lifetime from last month, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider I have 66 months of activity kind of weighting that number to whatever the average is, the fact that I jumped almost a full percent in only 1 month feels pretty massive to me. And like I said, we're nearing 2,100 subscribers, so slowly but surely. I'm definitely not going to meet the subscriber goals that I set at the beginning of this year, but that's fine. I'm not doing this for the paychecks or the glory or whatever. I still think that this community is great, and I'm pleased to be making any progress. For revenue, in month 66, I made basically $41. This came from $6.23 for every 1,000 views, or $17.33 for every 1,000 ad views. And here were the top 5 revenue generating videos from this past monthly period. You can see we've got 2 room tours and 2 DVC availability videos. Again, those are categories that traditionally do very well for me, and this remains true. And lifetime revenue, we are now at $1,725. This averages out to $4.11 for every 1,000 views, or a little over $20 for every 1,000 ad views. And here you can take a look at my past 6 months of revenue. So again, wintertime, we kind of hit an anomaly of like, I don't know, $50, $60 a month, like maybe even more. And that's weird because I normally hover in the 35 to 45 range, and we are definitely back in that normal range. For probable content upcoming on the channel, definitely more from the spring 2025 trip, although we are winding down on that content. Like I previously mentioned, I didn't actually film that much on that trip. The couple days we had with just me and my partner, we were running around like crazy, just trying to accomplish everything we wanted. And then when I was with my family, you know, obviously I wasn't going to be recording the kids. Like, that's weird. So yeah, I was really trying to be present and in the moment with everybody, which means not a ton for the vlog, but we still do have some stuff. So I already posted our like recap and review of the World of Color dessert party. And then upcoming for sure, Adam and I did like a review recap of our quick service food at Disneyland Resort. And then I've also got our Villas at Disneyland Hotel room tour for you. Everything after that is not at all edited, uploaded, anything like that. So really, who knows? That's what the question marks are. But upon returning from the trip, Adam and I did discuss the different hotels that we stayed in. So I'll post that at some point. I also did kind of an expectations versus reality check-in, so I'll post that at some point, hopefully in the next month. And then who knows, like maybe some more DVC availability stuff. Now that those are a lot faster and easier to film and edit and post, I'm more open to doing those more regularly. As always, if you have suggestions, if there are specific things you want to see for DVC availability, let me know in the comments down below. And I neglected to put this on screen, but obviously if there is a lot that comes out of Destination D23, I'll try to post a video on that too. But really, again, I am not bracing for getting very much news out of Destination D23 at all. I hope your August has been treating you well. I think it's like back to school time for a decent portion of the country, so I hope that's going well if it's applicable for you. I went to the Container Store the other day, and it happened to be move-in day for one of the colleges I live nearby, so that was a mistake, but I did get my necessary little trinkets. If you get Labor Day off, I hope you have a restful, relaxing weekend. We are kind of doing my last birthday celebration that weekend. I really stretched the birthday thing out as long as I possibly can, so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, again, thank you so much for being here. I know that I have not been as engaged and responsive as I want to be lately, and I just super appreciate your patience between work and my medication thing. And also some stuff changed in my partner's life. It's all good, but like there's just a lot going on right now, and I am just constantly so drained. So sorry that I've fallen off a cliff a little bit, but again, I super appreciate that you're here, and I am really grateful for your patience with me. And hopefully this is the last change to dosage in my medication and I can start feeling normal again and less like a zombie. If you have any fun plans coming up, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear about it and share in your joy. And I know a couple of you recently purchased DVC. I'm not going to name you because we're not that close and I don't want you to feel like I'm putting you on blast or whatever, but many congratulations. Super excited for you. I know at least one of you did resale and you got through right of first refusal, which I know is like, whoo, feels so good. And then one of you definitely bought direct. So I hope that you love having your points that you can use anywhere. It honestly makes me feel so good that my channel influenced your journeys at all, whether that was like, yes, we should buy or no, we shouldn't. And I love when you share back. It's such an amazing feeling. So thank you for sharing that with me. Stay safe and be good to each other. May the rest of your day be magical. We'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.